About an hour outside the Twin Cities, you'll find some unique art, colorful pieces that are hand-woven with looms. And as you are about to see, the art may be impressive, but it's the artists themselves who really depict true beauty. Inside this Annandale shop, you'll find an array of bright inventory.
We do all kinds of stuff here. We do rugs, placemats, table runners.
And an array of dazzling humans.
We have someone who's cutting off the loom.
Skilled weavers who finish a piece, then start a celebration.
Mandy!
This is really a joyful place. We're about jobs with dignity, we're about social connection, and there's joy. You can feel it in the air.
Elizabeth and her husband started the place 3 years ago. It's a place where people of all different learning styles can create. They spend months on their projects. That looks like a lot of work.
It is.
Annika is one of the artists on staff. What do you feel like inside when you're in the space?
Happy and safe, and like that I can actually do something out of my creativity.
It's where Abby Welter, Annandale's homecoming queen, shares her creativity too. And you're a weaver.
Yes, I am a weaver.
And an artist.
I'm an artist.
And you're good.
I'm good too.
And these good artists are simultaneously building self-worth, as Michael explains.
And all these years, I just wanted to be an artist when I grow up. And here I am. My dreams have finally come true.
And they have more than art to show for it. Turns out, as hard as their hands are working, their brains are working even harder.
I believe it's part of the right and left, the crossing midline that we have them do when they're weaving, and it fires both sides of their brain.
Because creativity comes with great responsibility.
When he started, it was yes, no, maybe.
And now, the boy who 3 years ago barely spoke is basically the program's spokesperson.
Well, it's a job full of dignity, and Annandale Art and Textile Center is a joyful place.
Yes, it is. New York Fashion Week is next month, and this year, some Minnesota creatives will be taking center stage. WCCO's Kirsten Mitchell introduces us to the designers that are shining a spotlight on the Asian American, Pacific Islander, and BIPOC communities.
The countdown is on for 8 Minnesota designers making their debut in the first ever Asian New York Fashion Week in September.
I'm really excited, at the same time stressed because we are nearing.
AAPI and BIPOC-centered Coalesce Collective is fundraising to compensate the designers and dozens of other creatives who will come with them to New York.
An inspiration from sari, and also I love florals.
Divya Divakaran will highlight her Indian heritage through sustainable luxury wear.
I feel very proud about that, being an Indian, going to New York and representing Minnesota and Asian community, so I'm really glad.
Kennedy Lohr will show his upcycled pieces.
A lot of the pieces here are using secondhand materials, so I go to the thrift store, I source all the yarns and I make them into new things.
Maisie Vu will bring her custom couture designs.
I'll be showcasing a 12-piece collection, completely new, inspired by my lived experiences and my culture.
And Menfei Lin will showcase her Chinese-inspired looks.
This is the dress I designed for SheInX programs.
The opportunity is a dream come true for the collective, which was founded a year and a half ago.
During the pandemic, we saw that there was a lot of AAPI hate crimes, and we really wanted to bring in some positivity for our community.
And now, representation in the Big Apple.
I feel like a lot of AAPI designers and creatives have always longed to be in this, this capacity, this platform.
To get that recognition for New York and hopefully for people to see and have a piece of us as well. So.
In Minneapolis, Kirsten Mitchell, WCCO News.
A vibrant acknowledgment of the place we call home is cruising around the Twin Cities. Maybe you've seen it, a Metro Transit bus covered from front to back in Native American artwork. The colors and figures serve as a cultural history lesson, and the story of the driver behind the wheel serves as a beautiful twist of faith. Jeff Wagner explains.
A Metro Transit bus passing by probably wouldn't have you doing a double take. They mostly look the same, other than a variety of advertisements on the sides. All the more reason why this one, carrying an entire palette of colors, is turning heads.
I didn't want it to be too saturated, but also colorful enough so when people see it, they're like, whoa, I've never seen like a pink and purple pastel bus in my life.
Marlena Miles is the Spirit Lake, Dakota artist who turned public transportation into a moving mural with a message. We are on Dakota land.
I wanted to show that, Dakota people, we're still here, we're a vibrant culture, the colors that represent that.
The art was originally designed for signage at Ramsey County Parks, but Miles happily obliged Metro Transit's request to have it wrapped on a bus.
To Dakota people, we used to paint over our teepees and tell stories that wrapped around the teepee, so I figured, this is like a modern way of wrapping a design around an object that we use every day.
The stories here include connections to wildlife.
Traditionally, we transported ourselves all around using the horses.
The earth.
So we believe the plants are medicine, that we can learn from them.
And each other.
Each of these colors can represent like the different ethnicities and cultures that come together that we learn from.
Several drivers steer those stories across town. Kevin Montree was one of the first.
This happened just by chance that I got this bus.
It was already sent out on a route that day, so he had to find it to make a swap.
As soon as I drove up to it, it was this art and it was native. It made me smile.
Montree is Lakota and Anishinaabe.
And touched me. So I just felt like, of course, it's me.
He drove it to a celebration event for the bus where Miles was waiting.
He comes up and tells me that, he's Lakota too.
And she said, of course, you're the one who brought the bus. Because in our Indian ways, we don't believe in coincidence.
Montree believes fate put him behind the wheel, an opportunity to honor his heritage that was a long time coming.
For me, because I learned my ways older in life, I never learned them as a kid because my mom and dad grew up in the time to be ashamed of Indian. And so it was a time for me to have pride.
It was good for me to know that the person driving this bus, is feeling empowered because of it.
Her artwork, combined with Montree's energy, feels like a match made in heaven, or in this case, on the land their ancestors once called home.
We're finally a people that used to be invisible and now we're visible.
Jeff Wagner, WCCO News.
Still to come, a family-owned gym, how they are teaching kids to fight back in and out of the ring.